Patriots fans, we need to talk, because the energy around Foxborough is changing. You can feel it. The clues are piling up, the roster is starting to take shape, and little by little, this team is starting to look like it actually has a plan with some real bite behind it. The draft trail is getting interesting, the defense may be setting up for something bigger, and even the offense still is not getting the respect it deserves. That is why this conversation matters right now. If you live and breathe Patriots football, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in, because this is not just about off-season noise. This is about direction. This is about identity. And this is about whether New England is finally getting ready to make people feel the pressure again. Let's start with the Josh Dobbs move, because a lot of people are going to shrug at this one and say, so what? He was just a backup. And yes, factually, that part is true. According to Ian Rappaport, the Patriots are planning to release Dobbs after being unable to find a trade partner. He signed a 2-year, $8 million deal back in March of 2025, but his role in New England was tiny. He played in just 4 games, completed 7 of 10 passes for 65 yards, and every single appearance came in a blowout win. So no, he was not some central piece of the operation. He was depth. He was insurance. He was a veteran body in the room. But here's where it gets interesting. When a team tries to move a backup quarterback, can't find a trade, and still says, you know what, we're good. That tells you something. Actually, it tells you a lot. It says this front office is trying to clean up the room, clean up the cap, and get more intentional about what it wants behind Drake May. And that matters, because when they re-signed Tommy DeVito to a 2-year deal this offseason, that was already a clue. Now with Dobbs on the way out, it feels even clearer. The Patriots seem to believe DeVito is the backup that fits their vision better moving forward. And honestly, the biggest message here might be the confidence in Drake May. This doesn't feel like a team panicking. It doesn't feel like a franchise scared to death and hoarding veteran quarterbacks just in case. It feels like a team that believes it has its guy. A team that believes the future of the quarterback position starts with May, and now the mission is to build the right support system behind him without wasting resources on players who don't really raise the ceiling. Now sure, this also creates a real need. If Dobbs is gone, you're basically looking at May and DeVito, and that means QB3, maybe QB4 still has to be addressed. Maybe it's a free agent, maybe it's a late-round draft pick. But the bigger takeaway is this. The Patriots are not abandoning depth. They're redefining it. Less clutter, more purpose, less just in case, more this is who we are. So tell me right now, do you like this stronger commitment to Drake May and Tommy DeVito? Or do you think New England is playing with fire in that quarterback room? Now let's turn the heat all the way up, because this is where the fan base starts dreaming. Joey Bosa being linked to the Patriots? Oh yeah, now we're talking. And let's be responsible here for 1 second before we light the whole studio on fire. There is no official move. Nothing is done. Nothing is guaranteed. This is still speculation. This is still rumor territory. But man, can you see why this rumor has legs? Can you see why people keep bringing it up? Because it makes football sense. It makes roster sense. And more than anything, it makes emotional sense for a franchise trying to matter again in a big way. The Patriots still need more juice getting after the quarterback. Everybody knows it. You can talk about culture, effort, scheme, discipline, all of that matters, absolutely. But at some point, if you want to speed up a rebuild, if you want to stop being the team everybody politely says is headed in the right direction, and start being the team nobody wants to block, you need difference makers. You need somebody who walks on the field and changes protections. Somebody who makes offensive coordinators lose sleep. When Joey Bosa is healthy, that is exactly the kind of player he still can be. And this is why the rumor matters even if it never happens. Because the very idea of the Patriots being in that kind of conversation says something about where this franchise may be mentally. It suggests a team that is tired of being ignored. A team that does not want to slow play every phase of the rebuild. A team that might be thinking, why wait? Why not add some star power? Why not inject real fear into this front? That would be a statement. That would be the kind of move that tells the rest of the AFC loud and clear, New England is not trying to be cute anymore. It's trying to get dangerous. Now there are fair concerns, and we have to say them out loud. Health matters. Contract cost matters. The overall roster strategy matters. You can't just chase a big name because it sounds awesome on a thumbnail. But if we're being honest, the fact that Joey Bosa even feels like a logical Patriots target tells you the franchise is at least orbiting a more aggressive mindset. That's the real takeaway. So let me ask you this. If it were up to you, would you want the Patriots to go after a big swing like Joey Bosa, even with the injury questions and the price tag? Or would you rather spread those resources across multiple defensive pieces and build that front another way? Drop it in the comments, because this is the kind of debate that tells you exactly what kind of Patriots team fans are ready to see. And while everybody is staring at splash rumors, don't ignore the quieter stuff, because sometimes that's where the real blueprint shows up. The Patriots reportedly doing major homework on safeties Emmanuel McNeil-Warren from Toledo and Zakee Wheatley from Penn State? That is not background noise. That is not meaningless pre-draft fluff. That feels like a front office trying to map out the future of the position. And when you remember they already signed Kevin Byard III to a one-year $9 million deal this offseason, the picture gets even clearer. Byard helps you now, but 1 year? That doesn't solve tomorrow. That doesn't solve the long game. So if New England is digging hard into safeties early in the draft process, that tells me they may already be thinking about succession, fit, and how this secondary is supposed to look a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. McNeil-Warren is the kind of prospect that jumps off the page. Size, production, physicality, impact against the run, all of it. He looks like a premium player. But here's the question. Is he the cleanest fit next to Craig Woodson long-term? Because if Woodson already gives you a lot against the run, maybe what you really want is someone who complements that with range, coverage instincts, and playmaking on the back end. And that's where Wheatley becomes fascinating. Maybe he doesn't carry the same exact buzz, but the profile feels really intriguing for this defense. Athletic, versatile, comfortable in multiple alignments, around the ball. That sounds like a Patriots target. That sounds like a coaching staff looking for a smart, flexible piece it can shape into something bigger. That's why this matters. This is not just about adding a safety. It is about how the Patriots are building this thing layer by layer. Quarterback room getting clarified. Defensive front potentially hunting impact. Secondary already being planned with the future in mind. That is not random. That is not aimless. That is a franchise trying to stack structure. So tell me this. If New England uses premium draft capital on a safety, do you see that as smart long-term vision? Or do you think there are still too many other needs to justify that kind of investment? And now let's get to the part that should absolutely fire up Patriots fans, because this one feels personal. The New England backfield is still being slept on. Still. Even after what we saw, some recent running back duo rankings left Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson out of the top conversations. And look, if you want to debate top 5, fine, we can argue that all day. But acting like this duo doesn't even deserve stronger respect? That feels lazy. That feels like people are still stuck in an old version of the Patriots and haven't realized what's changing right in front of them. Here are the facts. Henderson came in and turned into one of the best surprises on the roster. Stevenson had a rough start with the fumbling issues, no question, but he responded and steadied himself as the season went on. Put them together and you get 310 carries, 1,511 rushing yards, and 16 rushing touchdowns. Then add in 67 catches, 556 receiving yards, and 3 more touchdowns through the air. That is not some average committee. That is real production. Real versatility, real stress on a defense from multiple angles. And that is exactly why this backfield could become such a weapon around Drake May. This offense does not have to be one-dimensional. It does not have to ask the young quarterback to play superhero every single week. Henderson gives you burst, juice, and the ability to flip the field in a blink. Stevenson gives you power, toughness, and that body blow style that wears defenses down over 4 quarters. One hits you with speed, the other leans on you like a fourth-quarter pass rush. Together? That's a problem. That's balance. That's the kind of support system that can help a young quarterback grow while making the whole offense more dangerous. So honestly, maybe this disrespect is the best thing that could happen. Maybe this becomes fuel. Maybe this becomes bulletin board material. Because if the offensive line holds up and this attack takes another step, this duo is going to force the league to change the conversation. Maybe the biggest mistake outsiders are making right now is thinking the Patriots' offense rises or falls only with Drake May. No, it doesn't. Not if this backfield keeps ascending. Not if Henderson and Stevenson keep doing what they did and build on it. So say it loud. Are Henderson and Stevenson one of the most underrated backfields in football, or do they still need one more season to prove they belong in that upper tier? And when you step back and look at everything together, that's when this whole thing gets interesting. Dobbs leaving says clarity. The Joey Bosa rumor says ambition. The safety visits say planning. The running back disrespect says this team is still playing with a chip on its shoulder. None of these stories alone guarantees anything. Of course not. This is the NFL. Hype doesn't win games. Rumors don't make tackles. Depth charts in March don't hand out banners. But when all these signs start showing up at once, it begins to feel like there is a real direction forming in Foxborough. And that is what Patriots fans have been starving for. Not empty noise, not fake optimism, direction. So if you believe something real is taking shape in New England, if you feel this team is finally starting to build with purpose again, then make some noise. Like the video, share it with another Patriots fan, and get in the comments right now because I want to hear it straight from you. Which of these signs gives you the most confidence in where this team is heading next? Because one way or another, the temperature is rising in Foxborough. And if these moves are really pointing toward a bigger plan, the rest of the league better wake up fast.